Hey, this is the Wine of the Month Club preamble to the December selections. And yes, Ed is asking me, what were the selections in 40 years ago, which would be December of 2018? Sorry, 1978.
Yes, 1978.
Your math is excellent.
Thank you.
1978 plus 40 years is 2018.
Your math
It was Lords and Elwood's Dry Sherry.
Dry Sherry.
Now, that was Richard Elwood's.
Richard Elwood's. Well, Richard Elwood's father founded the company. Richard Elwood went to work for him, when he became an adult. And what else?
And a Vin Mousseau.
Oh, Bouvray? Oh, no, sparkling wine. Yeah.
You know, if I could find the paper I wrote it down on. So Vin Mousseau is sparkling wine from the south of France, and it's usually very creamy. And this particular brand, I didn't recognize the brand. Penier. It was called Penier.
Oh, yeah, Penier. I remember them.
So now that was because back in those days, and up until probably the early 2000s, we sent a sparkling wine and a dessert wine as the selection. And the reason is, Ed.
Well, tell me, Paul.
The reason we don't do it now is because in those days when we met a customer at a show or a trade show, wherever we at, we shook their hand and we would tell them, oh, by the way, December you get these kinds of wines. If you don't like them, we'll send you something else. You're not partial to sparkling wine. And so they would tell us. But once the internet hit and people were signing up through the internet without the ability to tell them that, we started to receive complaints about getting sparkling wine and dessert wine because they don't drink them. So not that many people drink them, really. Except...
Well, sparkling wines are coming up, in terms of consumption lately, all right?
Well, even port...
After going down.
I sold more port this year during the holidays than I did the last year and the year before. So that was kind of interesting.
Well, for who? Or whom?
And the sparkling wines, for sure, we did much better at sparkling this year than we did before. But I did a little earlier, and we had some very pedigreed stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Are you kidding? I was buying it. What are you talking about? I'm his biggest customer, and I get no respect around here.
Grand Courtage. This is actually... she's something else. This is we still have this in stock a little bit. This is the Grand Courtage. This is Tanya, and she decided she was going to go to France and start her own company. And I'm like, can I have you examine your head?
Well, apparently
she goes, nobody told me.
Yeah, well, that I can believe. Her marketing is a little goofy too. Come on. All she talks about is going to France and fashion, because I think she was in the fashion business of some sort anyway. Very pretty girl, always dressed to the nines. So she can get away with stuff that you and I can't.
But what's interesting is my gym here in Arcadia, when I go in the morning, I was working out with this young lady a couple days ago, and she's a young Asian lady, and she's like, I think you know my boss. I go, who's that? She goes, Tanya. She makes champagne. I go, what? I go, come on, because she lives in the West. Anyway.
Small world.
That is the preamble. We'll see you at the Classic Limited Inventor Series in just a moment. Freeze it.
This is a stick-up.
Hey, it's the Classic Series here at the Original Wine of the Month Club, and for December 2018, Ed, why are we shooting the December so late? Because, Ed, since you asked...
I don't need to be here. He can carry on this conversation with me by himself.
We have a lot of people telling us, look, we're getting the videos too early because we haven't opened the wines yet. We just got them, and they've only been on our shelf for a day or two or whatever. So we decided we're going to start producing a little bit later and sending them a little later so you have a chance to taste the wines. And I have an interesting story on one of the wines we're going to taste here shortly.
Shortly. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse.
So, we poured this the other night at the tasting. You know that we have our Saturday tasting. You got to come join us.
Well, okay.
First Saturday of the month. It's a hoot. It's a bunch of regulars now. Anyway, this was a huge hit.
Duh.
And
Would you stop ordering wine from these guys?
Well, that's the thing, though.
Because I'm sick and tired of writing about it.
This is probably like the fourth or fifth Syrah we've done for them.
Well, whatever you buy from them. I'm in constant amazement at how they can make wines like this at these prices. I really am. This is one of the few wineries that blows me away every time.
And I personally think this is the best Syrah they've made. It's got balance. It's got acid. It's got fruit. It's got complexity.
Yeah, well, I was just going to ask if it was 2015, and that's the vintage.
It's not a punch in the mouth, with blueberries. It's just really well made.
That's
I still don't understand it. I mean, I understand the reason for the label, but I was a pyro as a kid too. I almost burned the house down twice.
I only almost burned the house down once, but my brother helped, so.
But the nose is just complex and just so much.
I tell you, how much I love Syrah, almost as much as I love Chardonnay, but I've loved every one of their Syrahs. Now, I would guarantee you, even though I don't think it says so, I would guarantee you it's not 100% Syrah.
Some of their Tempranillo or something.
Or their big Grenache in there, because it has that kind of cranberry-ish sort of Grenache taste.
They do grow a lot of not unusual varietals, but varietals in large quantities that aren't grown in large quantities in other districts.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not sure why.
They sell most of their grapes to other wineries, first of all.
I spoke to her today, Gigier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, they are, besides making great wine, they are probably two of the smartest, well, three, it's his brother too, people in the wine business. They really know how to do it right. I mean,
Every bottling, they have a blend that I really like, and they don't sell it under the Matchbook label.
Mm-hmm.
They sell it in shiners, unlabeled bottles. We're buying it. It's going to be Hermosa Reserve. It's really good. And she sent me a fresh sample down tonight, so we can get it tomorrow. But I didn't even notice this on the UPC code. There's a flame coming up. I thought it was like ink, like a mistake. This is a 97 for me.
I'm right with you. I mean, really, and people ask us, well, how do you come up with the numbering system, and why your numbers are going to be different from somebody else's numbers? Well, that's why we're human beings. Okay, we have different tastes, but Paul and I both agree, one of the few times we actually do, that you also have to take into consideration the price.
Absolutely.
Now, not if you're talking first growth Bordeaux and Burgundies and, big deal California Cabernets and stuff like that. That's not even the wine business. That's the lunatic fringe, okay? But when you're talking about the wines that people drink every day, you got to consider the price. Now I've tasted Syrahs that were $20 that honestly were not anywhere near as good as this. I mean, really. I mean, I'm dead serious. I've been doing this for 50 years, and I can tell you that. And even though recently, I would have to say in the last 10 years, wines have gotten definitely better than they ever were. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how many awful wines I used to taste with his father 40 years ago.
Well, and that's a very good point, because what I've been sort of mulling over is that we don't we evaluate wines against the same kinds of wines in the same price range. So it's different than just chewing on something and saying, oh, this is a 98 because it's a $50 cab from California or Napa.
$50, that's a cheapie.
Yeah, so we're it's like taking us to the market together and looking at all the $20 cabs or Syrahs or whatever you want, and we say that one's worth 40 and this one's worth 5 because we've tasted them, we've compared them. That's where our ratings come from. They're different than the just outright, flat out, periodical rating. And guess what? We're so confident about the ratings that we sell the wines, and if you don't like them, we'll guarantee that we'll send you something you do like. You don't do that in the magazines, do you?
Well, what if I don't like this? Do I get my money back?
Yes.
What if I didn't pay you any money?
Well, that's the problem. No, I mean,
that would be a good deal if I could get it.
What if you worked in how many retail shops? So you put up on there, the Wine Spectator gave this a 95. Guy takes it home, doesn't like it. He comes back and says, you told me the Spectator liked the wine. He goes, I don't like it. What do you do?
Give him my money back.
You do?
Well, when I was in retail, oh yeah, absolutely. I was giving her money back. I mean, I once had a customer who comes in, he brings a bottle of wine.
That's not why you retail anymore.
This stuff is really good.
I know, this is great.
I mean, it's Chardonnay. I don't like Chardonnay, but it comes from Alex Guaracci, who I knew when he just got off the boat from Chile, or actually he had been off the boat for a couple of years, and he got in the wine business and was out selling Chilean.
You think there's any sugar in this?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. Chilean and Argentine wines, and this was over 30 years ago, and everybody's going, who cares? Chile, Argentina. What's this great Malbec? Nobody ever heard of it, And the few people, like I said, that heard of Malbec go, that's one of the worst tasting grapes I ever tasted in my entire life.
So Alex will tell you that the Wine of the Month Club he's eternally grateful to the Wine of the Month Club that we bought the first multi-pallet order he ever had. And he'll tell you that the moment he left the office, he could not believe that he was in business.
Yeah.
Because it was a big enough order. I think it was ordered 3,000 cases or 1,500 cases. So he came in the other day He didn't bring this, but he brought something else.
Well, yeah, because he made a lot of money. He was very, very successful guy. Built a wonderful winery in Napa. But like everybody else in the wine business, it's getting tougher and tougher.
So there's something other than Chardonnay in this. And
You
there's
know,
something very tropical. There's at the very finish is a mango, pineapple thing.
Well, it may be the Kendall Jackson secret ingredient, and that was
fruit syrup,
no, the
cotton candy,
the sweet wine, Moscato, yeah.
Yeah, it could be that.
But
there's a little apricot in here or something.
Well, that would be the Muscat.
This is, I mean, you've chilled this. This is incredible
That's
wine.
really, really nice wine because it doesn't have any oak in it.
The name's kind of stupid, and we had one complaint on the wine, and it wasn't the wine. It's because apparently the winery where this is made actually also is experimenting with hemp wines.
With what wines?
Weed.
Oh, yeah. This winery?
Mm-hmm.
Alex? He's probably getting it from Chile then, right?
I don't know. 96 for me.
96.7. I like it. I really do like that a lot.
Oh
my God!
Is it Paso or California? California.
It's doesn't say.
Oh, God, what a nose. No, it's California. It's coming from somewhere there.
Yeah.
It smells like Paso. Jeez. What a nose.
Wow.
Is it Cabernet?
Yeah.
2013 Cabernet Sauvignon, California, OMG. Part of the Tech Speak series.
Wow. That's got some interesting flavors going on. Man, oh man.
Tons of fruit. Lots of acid still. Bright acid.
Yeah,
Flavors
but what's
galore.
that nose? That nose is like...
It's like a plum. It's like a dried plum.
Yeah. I mean, if you keep smelling it, eventually you'll get Cabernet out of it, but there's other things in there as well. I don't really care. I think it's really unique and very interesting.
I'm going to take this home tonight.
Wow. Wonderful flavors. I'm at a 95 on that too.
96. This is $7.99 on the shelf. Here more. It's $12.99 or $19.99 on the shelf. So this is one of those deals you walk in and say that's a $20 Cabernet. It's worth $20, and the one next to it is $30, and it's not worth $8. But this is certainly worth $20.
Look, you don't want to talk about pricing with wines, okay? Because when you ask most people that sell high-end wines how they price their wines, the first thing they say is, well, we tasted this wine, and it costs that, and we think ours is better, so we're going to charge more.
Meaning that it's not a cost-plus proposition. You don't just take the cost of manufacturing and add a margin like you do with a widget. And so,
No.
hence why.
Okay, I'll pour my own.
But I still, here's the comment I make and see if you agree with this or not. When people say, "Oh, is it really? Can you really taste the difference between Opus and whatever?" I said, "Yeah, A, you can taste the difference, but B, then they say, is it worth $200 a bottle?" I said, "It's worth $200 a bottle when you need to serve something that's worth $200 a bottle. Like if you're having a dinner party and you want to impress the people you're pouring, and you need to pour Opus or Robert Mondavi Reserve or something, that's what you need to do. That's what it's for."
Well, I'll tell you.
It doesn't agree with me.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but I'd like to talk about the Luna de Luna, which is $14.99 on the shelf and $6.99 reorder price. And
this is a classic Italian white.
Northern Italian white, clean, crisp. It almost rattles your mouth when you taste it.
I love the fact it's a Pinot Grigio blend.
Mm-hmm.
This is from the Venice, around Venice, above Venice, the Venezia. So that's where Pinot Grigio's typically done and made, but they're growing Chardonnay there as well.
Well,
and
that's
that
where
changes
most
everything.
of the best whites come from in northern Italy, without question.
But you don't see a lot of Chard from there.
Well, you don't get a lot of Chard. You get a lot of Sauvignon Blanc. You get
What is this like? It's like caramel corn or what's those little Brock corn things? Those candies.
Oh yeah,
Candy corn.
Candy corn.
That's what it smells like to me.
Yep. Yeah, but you definitely get the Pinot Grigio little peachiness that you wouldn't get in Chardonnay. I'm at a 96 on this. I think it's delicious. $6.99. I mean, we're, Oh. And that's our show for today.
Oh yeah. Somebody's calling. Somebody important, I'm sure.
It's from Memphis.
It's Linus and Lucy.
I
I like this nose, man.
I do too. I do too, and I like it all. So yeah, I think that's it for our classic series.
Cheers.
December 2018. How'd I do?
Yeah, super.